Hello everyone, welcome to another Versus Video Deck Tech. I am BBD, joined again by,
that's my line. I'm Brad Nelson.
Brad Nelson.
It is my name.
Today is actually, as we're filming this is Brad Nelson's birthday, so I thought I'd give him a present. I went to Jared. Went to Jared, and we're gonna give him the gift of Nemesis of Mortals to the face. So.
Yeah. It's not a great gift. It's mostly an ass whooping.
Yeah, it's either 5 or 10 damage depending on where you're at in the game. So, take it how you will.
Thank you. That's so kind of you.
Yeah, it's a heartfelt one.
I'm appreciated here. I know I am.
But today I'm playing this black-green dredge deck. And this was a deck that saw a little bit of popularity like last season, kind of fell off the radar a bit, but I actually think that it got some like cool new tools with Journey to Nyx, mostly the snake machine.
The snake machine? Is that what's going on here?
There's like snakes just coming out of Frika.
Yeah, is that her hair?
I
think she needs a haircut because it's getting a little out of control over here.
Yeah, even Samuel L. Jackson would suggest a haircut there, so... Yeah.
Do you know that your jokes are awful?
Oh, I'm aware, yeah. Like, you just have to if you make 10 awful jokes, maybe one of them's good. Like.
But the other 9 ruin the good one.
That's fine. That's fine.
Fine, I'll give you a golf clap. Like, thankfully you said something that's not horrible.
All right, yes. Yeah, that's the goal, actually. But, yeah, so we have Frika, which actually can get crazy with all these like creatures in our graveyard. And also easily turns onto a creature.
But how do we get cards into our graveyard?
Ooh, I'm glad you asked that question, Brad Nelson. We have Commune with the Gods, Grizzly Salvage, and Satyr Wayfinder to dump our sweet cards into our graveyard.
And not get any in return.
Yes. So when we play Satyr Wayfinder, it's 4 non-land cards.
Yeah.
And when we play Commune with the Gods, it's 5 lands.
Yep. No, I'm with you. I've done this before. Yeah. I know how it works.
Not too much else has changed with the deck, so if you've seen this deck before, it basically runs the same way. You want to dump a bunch of creatures in your graveyard, just kind of run through your deck. Gives you cheap Nemesis of Mortals, makes Gerard massive, makes Night Howler massive.
I mean, the one thing that I do want to say about this deck that made it a lot better with the new set is Frika, and because she gets turned on so easily with Jared. So you just need a mana guy or a Satyr Wayfinder, a Jared, and this card, and it's turned on, and it's a big point of damage. Like, I could see this deck not even doing any graveyard interaction, just going turn 1 Elvish Mystic, turn 2 Frika, turn 3 Jared. I mean, obviously that's perfect mana, but if you ever do that, you're attacking for 5 on turn 3. Like, that's powerful. So giving Jared more things to do because it's such a useless magic card, like, makes it a lot better. Just being such a devotion fueler, very much like Obsidat for Threos. But I do think that combo is really big in this deck compared to any others. Like, Frika's Devotion will get turned on because all of the threats are double colors, and they're bestow, so they stay in play longer.
Yeah, and so if you can never live the dream by double bestowing, you can just, like, get multiple bestows on a Frika.
On a Frika, so she'll, like, literally never die?
They can cast Supreme Verdict, but you just keep your Frika around. That's the ultimate goal. And there's also, another point to go with that makes Whip better too.
Yes.
Because Whip's like another way to provide permanent devotion for Frika, and being able to gain 5 when you attack is pretty big.
And just shove in for 5 with the Frika in the graveyard. Like, you can, like, when resources are low, you can just bring the Frika back. Maybe it's on, maybe it's not, but then you can make some snakes just to hopefully get those last points of damage in.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of cool things too. There's also some other cards that I'm not playing, like Nyx Weaver. I just feel like it's a little too slow.
It is.
And even though like it definitely has synergy, it's just not quite where we want to be. But I do actually think that there's another deck that could play Nyx Weaver, Eidolon of Blossoms, and Strength of the Fallen, along with Frika to just kind of create a graveyard engine.
I mean, as long as your opponent did not do anything for the first 4 turns of the game, that deck is going to be a competitor.
So, yeah. So that deck's actually very good against every deck I've ever built.
Yeah.
That's basically what I'm hearing.
And horrible against any deck I've ever built.
Yes, yeah. So play that deck against me, not against Brad. But yeah, this is the main deck for the green-black dredge. Let's take a look at the sideboard. All right, we are back with the sideboard, and what a sideboard it is.
It looks amazing.
It does not, but yeah, so there's like a ton of cards in here that really want to serve like different purposes. But one of the main things about a deck like this is like you can't really neuter your deck too much in sideboarding because you still have to keep like a critical mass of creatures to make the deck actually work. So for the most part, like I wanted to lean on like creatures to perform different tasks. So like Nihilious Disciple is our way to like stem the tide against aggressive decks or burn decks, and it's still a creature. And then like Shadowborn Demon is like our removal spell and still a creature. And then we have like other cards to serve like other tasks, like Golgari Charms for basically like the Revelation decks, counter their Supreme Verdicts and get your guys back from like detention spheres and things. And then like Pithing Needle is mainly for Elspeth. Actually 100% for Elspeth.
I was curious what this was for, yeah.
Because Elspeth's actually one of the like probably the hardest card in the format for this deck to beat. None of the guys have trample, so you're not like getting through an Elspeth. And Elspeth's minus ability is going to generally wrath your entire board. So Pithing Needle is like 100% for Elspeth. And also against a lot of Elspeth decks like Esper, you can also name Jace if you draw extra copies. Jace is actually kind of good against like the Satyr Wayfinders and Herald of Torments if you're just like flooding the board versus making one huge creature.
Yep.
So that I opted for Needle over something like Hero's Downfall because I felt like you wanted the cheapest. This is the kind of deck where you want to utilize your mana effectively. So you just want the actual cheapest answer possible rather than something more expensive.
Yeah, no, I completely understand, and I like this idea. Like in the Scry world of Control, like it's not easy to use Hand Disruption to get what you want. You can stop them from interacting with you, like with a Thoughtseize, but their go over the top spells they will find very quickly because every land gets them one closer. So you never really want to use Thoughtseize or Hand Disruption to deal with it. So I really like Pithing Needle as that answer, especially since you're taxing all of their detention spheres and all their answers anyway, that this can come down, sneak in, and be very difficult for them. I mean, obviously they're not going to be able to detention sphere and play Elspeth at the same time because that's 9 mana. So they'll have to detention sphere, and then you'll have another crack at either having another one of these or one of your ways to get it back. And the blowout of them casting Elspeth and you Golgari Charming their detention sphere in response, naming Elspeth is probably just game over.
Yeah, I mean, like they just wasted their entire turn to do nothing. And then the other cards we have are Decay and Dark Betrayal. Decay doesn't actually serve like a specific role. It's just an amazing spell.
Do you mean that Abrupt Decay is a good Magic card?
It is a good Magic card.
Okay, that's what I thought too.
Interesting. Have you ever played with it before, Brad?
I don't actually know if I have, to be honest.
Well, you're about to today.
All right.
All right. And then we have 2 Dark Betrayals, which is for Pack Rat. Pack Rat is very, very, very difficult to beat. Very difficult to beat.
Which card is that?
Pack Rat.
Am I playing? I am playing that today.
Yes.
Yeah. Is?
Yes. No. I hope you don't have more than 3. Hopefully you only have 3. Yeah, Pack Rat's like extremely difficult for this deck to beat. And this should actually probably be Bile-Blight maybe, but I just wanted the cheapest answers. And this also kills Demon too, which can be a problem sometimes as well.
For sure.
So I wanted cheap answers to Demon and Pack Rat, and Dark Betrayal was the card I fell upon.
Yeah.
Lifebane can also be a problem, but we have snakes. We have snakes to block Lifebane Zombie. So.
And they are not stuck on a plane. They're actually just in play.
Well, they're stuck on the plane of Dominaria. Yeah.
And that's where we're going to end this deck tech because that was a very good joke. Scroll down and you'll see me beating the crap out of BBD.
Scroll down and you'll scroll past the video into the comments section where you can talk about me beating Brad.
But they scrolled past the video.
Yeah. I don't know. Cut.